Hi guys, my name is Emily. Welcome to my Q&A. I asked you guys in a video to leave me some questions, and so today I'm going to be answering them. Remember to subscribe for more videos like this, and if you have any questions that arise while you're watching this, leave them for me down below. So I have my laptop off to the side here, and I'm going to be reading the questions off the screen, so if you see me looking away, that is what I am doing. So the first question comes from Darling Darkness. What do you think will BookTube look like in 5 years? Hopefully BookTube will be a lot bigger, it will be a lot more diverse, it will cover a lot more topics, and I'm hoping it will be a lot more critical. When it comes to sponsorships, overhyped books, and clickbait titles, how much fun will BookTube still entail in 5 years' time? I don't think that sponsorship, overhyped books, and clickbait titles necessarily mean that BookTube won't be fun anymore. I think sponsorships are a really important part. I think unless you create videos yourself, you probably don't realize how much work actually goes into this. And how little money you actually make if you try and monetize your channel. I really don't think that sponsorship has to affect the quality of your content. I mean, look at the Harmontown podcast. He advertises for MeUndies, they sponsor him, and he basically tells you that because of their return policy, you can order like 1 million of them and say you're unsatisfied with them and get free underwear. I would love to see more sponsorships in the next little bit. I think it will really increase the quality of people's content. If you're making money on a video, you could potentially say, oh, I won't take that shift at work and I'll take this day to work on this content because I know I'm gonna get paid for that content, right? So I think it can only increase the quality of people's content. So I'm not anti-sponsorship. As for overhyped books, it's just a natural part of books. As somebody who works in a bookstore, I see the marketing of books, I see how we're pushing certain things and why we're pushing certain things when, so overhype is just a natural part of the capitalist book selling system. It's kind of unavoidable. I think it's more about receiver reaction to overhyped books. So either you can kind of join in and realize that everybody is reading this, that everybody's getting excited about this, and this is maybe not the quality literature that it should be for the amount of people reading it, but it's fun. And if you want to join in on the fun, that's great. Clickbait titles are just sort of a part of marketing yourself and getting your name out there. They're unfortunate. I don't like doing them. I like clearly marking my videos, but if that's somebody's strategy, who am I to say that that doesn't work, right? If you look at people with bigger channels, they often do have clickbaity titles. They're getting people moving through their channel, they're getting people watching their stuff. As a consumer, I kind of look at things and I'm like, really? Are you really gonna talk about the first time you had sex here? Probably not, but you're gonna call it the first time tag in a clickbaity title to get people to watch you talk about the first time you went to school. I think it's about being a smart consumer in terms of clickbait titles. So I guess short answer, I think BookTube will be as fun as you make it in 5 years' time. So slight shift in location and lighting because my camera battery died and I had to move and plug it into the wall. So question number 2 comes from Peter Clark, the writer, and his question is grilled cheese or peanut butter and jelly? Grilled cheese, always grilled cheese. Bree Hill asks, if you could only recommend one book for the rest of your life, what would it be? Probably anything by Tamora Pierce. I would recommend that you read Tamora Pierce because she is amazing. She appeals to all ages and I really, really like her. And Bree's second question is, you're telling a friend about the perfect Saturday night, what did you do? For the perfect Saturday night, I probably went to our local bar for their nachos. Their nachos are amazing. Dolce is Reading asks, which book or character changed the way you see books and life in general, the one that marked you the most? And I feel like I'm sort of repeating myself, but it's probably Tamora Pierce's Alana, The First Adventure. I will link my storytelling video in the description box down below, and that kind of goes into more details on how that book affected me as a reader and a human. Underline Truth asks, do you read novels from other cultures, especially the Middle East? There's a lot of Arabic novels translated into English. I'm curious of your opinion on them. So I have read novels from other cultures. So last year I took a course in Indian diasporic literature and I've taken an Indigenous literature course. So looking at North American Indigenous literature. Neither of them really makes me an expert or qualified to have an opinion on them. And as for Arabic novels in translation, I don't think I've ever read one, unfortunately, but I am trying to diversify my reading, so I'll keep an eye out, I guess. Peep 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 asks, what are your favorite non-BookTube channels? I will leave a link to all of these channels in the description box down below. I love Chef John from Food Wishes. I love Funhouse, they're a gaming channel. I especially love their Dude Soup podcast, in which they kind of cast off their sort of sexist, homophobic characters and talk about YouTube culture and gaming culture, and they're really quite insightful because they've been on YouTube a long time, so I really enjoyed that. I like Loopsy. She's a beauty lifestyle vlogger from the Netherlands. I find her voice really calming. I find her natural makeup looks actually look natural. I really enjoy Evan Edinger. He tells a lot of funny stories and he makes me laugh, which is always great. If I'm feeling a little bit down, I'll go back through Evan's backlog and just kind of look for some of the funny stories. And I really like Hannah Witten. I'm not really sure if we consider her part of BookTube, since she started doing the Banging Book Club with Lena Norm and Lucy Moon. I really like Hannah Witten and I'm really looking forward to her book. Leah asks, I would like to know how you manage your time with your thesis, YouTube, and work. You seem to be very organized, so I'm curious. Mostly it's about setting alternative deadlines for myself. So I will take all of my important dates and deadlines and I will put them in one big master list, and I hang that master list somewhere so I can see it every day, and I cross off the things that are happening, and that allows me to see how close together different things are. So if I know that all of a sudden I have 2 essays due on one day and an essay due 2 days from those 2 essays, then I know that I need to be working well ahead of those deadlines. And so I make up sort of fake deadlines for myself and then work towards my fake deadlines so that by the time the real deadlines happen, everything is done. As for managing these things, I kind of put them in a triage system. Work I get paid for, that comes at the top. I schedule anything like thesis-y, school-y, etc. around work. After those is my extracurriculars, so my reading, my plans with friends, my YouTube, that all comes last. And so I know that if I have a really busy week at work and I have to get the school stuff done, then I'm cutting things from the lowest priority. And that triage system is how I also do my daily lists. So I will make a list of things that I want to do each day, starting with the things that I have to get done and working down to things that I would like to get done. And I start with the things at the very top of the list and then I work my way down. And I know that if I don't get to the bottom things, it's no big deal. So Detroit 31348 asks, favorite authors. Right off the top of my head, the names that come to mind are Stephen King, Tamora Pierce, Barbara Gowdy, and Michael Ondaatje. What is your zodiac sign? I am a Libra. And your favorite Stephen King book? My favorite Stephen King book is probably The Shining, although I haven't read it in a really long time, so we'll see if that holds up. Do I have any pets? Yes, I do. If you do, what is it and what is his or her name? So I have 2 Shih Tzus and their names are Artie and Gracie. If you could have coffee with any person in history, living or dead, who would it be and what would you want to ask them? I think I would want to have coffee with Terry Pratchett because he has the huge Discworld series and he is so well loved amongst age ranges, like children to adults love his work. And as somebody who has writerly aspirations, I think it would be really cool to pick his brain on just how he developed this world. Where did it start? Where did it come from? How does he keep building on it and playing with it? That would be really cool. Eternal Sunshine asks, what do you want to work as once you're done with education? I'm sort of torn between working in publishing and trying to work in the academy. I think being a scholar would be super cool. I'm sort of realistic about the chances of me getting a job in the academy, especially with all of the funding to the arts being cut everywhere. We'll see what happens, like based on what happens in the next year where I get accepted, that will kind of determine what I want to do. Or what I'm going to do, I guess. So Vivian Wiltshire says, as a new subscriber, I think I heard you mention you are in Canada. What part, city? So I am in sort of the southern part of Ontario. I don't want to specifically give away where I live because I live in a small town, but for school I have lived in London, Ontario and Hamilton, Ontario. And what is your favorite genre of books? I think currently my favorite genre is fantasy. Rachel Rudd asks, high school was not a fun experience, why was that? I think mostly it was because I went to a middle school that fed into a different high school than the high school I actually attended. Basically all of my really close friends went to the one high school and I went to the other high school, so it was kind of starting fresh. High school is a lot of like presentations and I am not good, believe it or not, with presentations and public speaking, and I had some pretty crummy teachers. Rachel also asks which Hogwarts house I belong in. It depends on when I take the test. The house I wish I could be in, I guess, would either be Gryffindor or Slytherin, just because both of them are kind of brave and determined, and I feel like sometimes I'm a little bit anxious and I hold back on things. Like, I've had a couple of videos now that my little Ravenclaw-y self has put together. They are well researched, they're well supported, they're well written. They're also kind of controversial, and so I don't end up publishing them. I actually have a couple of videos like that that are private on my channel that I've put all this work into, that I'm really proud of the content, and then right before I go to publish it, I watch it one last time and I'm going, do I want to deal with the backlash of this? No, I'm not prepared to handle that. If I was more of a Gryffindor or a Slytherin, I would be able to handle some of that. I wish I could be in Gryffindor or Slytherin. Rachel also says that I'm aware you like fantasy and your primary area of scholarship thus far has been focused on that genre. Are there any other genres or areas of study that you're interested in exploring further? I think trauma literature would be really interesting. I think talking about sex in YA would be really interesting, although I'm wondering if I'd need more of a psychology angle than a literary angle. I'd still like to work in children's lit though. That I think is key. Those are all of the questions. Thank you guys so much for leaving me these questions. I had a lot of fun answering them. Be sure to leave me a comment down below if you have any more questions or would like a follow-up on some of my answers here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.